Good morning, students. Due to Corona, we have to conduct the online classes, but it doesn't matter. Our studies cannot be suffered by this Corona. So let's start with the chapter motion. I know I have explained few definitions, few factors about the motion, but let's start with the initial part of the chapter, like the motion. You know, when an object is said to be in motion, suppose this is a stationary object. And you start from this point. This is a point. You start from here. And after some time, if you change your position, you are there at the point B. So with respect to this tree, you are in motion. Motion is if you changes your position, if a body changes position with respect to any other object, this is called the object is in motion. And this is the object which is stationary. In comparison to which object you are in motion, this object, stationary object, is called reference point. This is called the reference point. So reference point is the stationary object with respect to which an object is said to be in motion. So this is simply the motion. So you can write the definition of motion. Motion is when an object changes its position with respect to any reference point or any stationary object. This is called the object is in motion. Now the one more thing which is there in this part motion. The term is motion and the rest are the related terms. What is the meaning of this? Motion and rest are the related terms. It means that suppose you are here on this earth. This is your earth. And you are here on this earth. So, you know that our earth is revolving even though it is rotating and revolving around the sun. So, this tree is stationary here on the sun. But if we look from the universe, with respect to this universe, this earth is in motion. So, it means this tree is not at rest, it is actually in motion. So, that's why we can say that the rest and the motion are the related terms. So this is the one question for you. You have to write down the question and you will write to answer yourself that why the rest and motion are the related terms. And the answer is, for example, if we take an object which is stationary on the earth like the tree, or if we look at this tree from the universe, so since the earth is rotating as well as revolving around the sun, so we can say with respect to the other celestial object, this tree is in motion. So we can say the rest and the motion are the related terms. So write down the question. Why rest and motion are relative terms? I think it should be clear. Then the more time I explain to you that the rest and motion are the relative terms because an object is stationary like on the earth, but with respect to the other celestial object, it is in motion. So we can see the rest and the motion are the related terms. So this is the motion. We have learned about the motion, the reference point, and the one thing is why the rest and motion are the related terms. Now the next part is motion can be of two types. Motion can be of two types. It can be uniform. Since I think this part of the board is not visible from the in the videos, so I am not using this part of the board. I am using this one. Okay. So uniform and non-uniform. So motion can be of two types. It can be uniform. It can be non-uniform. Like the uniform motion, for example, I will explain you by using an example. So it will be easy for you to understand what is a uniform motion. Suppose this is you and you are moving on your bicycles like this. So if you travel 5 meters in 1 second and again 5 meters in another 1 second, again 5 meters in another 1 second. So what you are doing here? You are traveling equal distance in equal interval of time. Or if an object travel equal distance in equal interval of time, we say that the object is in uniform motion. Uniform motion is when an object travels equal distance in equal interval of time, then it is called the object is in uniform motion. So you can write the definition of the uniform motion. Again, I will tell you that if a moving object travels equal distance in equal interval of time, then the motion of the object is said to be uniform. The second one is the non-uniform motion. Sorry, again it is like writing that I write here uniform. It is non-uniform. So what is the meaning of the non-uniform motion? So again, if you are here on this bus, so suppose you are on the bus and in first 1 second due to the traffic you are not continuing with the uniform motion. Suppose in 1 second you travel 15 meter and due to the rest of it, now in another 1 second you travel 20 meter. Again there is some traffic and again you travel 1 second in 1 second. In 1 second you travel a distance of 10 meter. So here in this case you are traveling unequal distance in equal interval of time. One more time. When an object cover unequal distance in equal interval of time, then we can say that the object has a uniform motion. So non-uniform motion. Sorry, explain. I will explain again. Uniform motion is when an object travels equal distance in equal interval of time, and non-uniform motion is when an object travels unequal distance in equal interval of time. Then an object is said to have non-uniform motion. So you can write another question. What are uniform and non-uniform motion? Okay, this is the another question. You also have to write the definition of the motion, the reference point, the uniform motion, the non-uniform motion. Now, continue. There are two types of quantities. There can be the two types of quantities like the scalar and the vector quantity. The scalar quantities and the vector quantities. The scalar quantity means if any physical quantity has only magnitude without any direction, that it is said that this is a scalar quantity. For example, scalar quantities like suppose for example from this classroom, the distance of this playground, the distance of the playground from this classroom is near about 500 meters. Suppose. So the distance of the playground from this room is 500 meters. Now I am not telling about the direction of the playground. I am explaining only the magnitude. This is called the magnitude. The value is called the magnitude. So here in this case, if the distance of the playground from this classroom is 500 meters, so here in this example I am telling you only about the magnitude. That the distance is 500 meters, not about the direction. So if a physical quantity has only magnitude without any direction, magnitude without any direction, then it is said that this is a scalar quantity. And about the vector quantity, for example, if I am telling you that the distance of this playground from the hall, from this room is 500 meters towards the south. So here in this example I am telling about the magnitude as well as the direction. So if an object has magnitude as well as direction, then the physical quantity is said to be is a vector quantity. So magnitude and direction. So what are the vector quantities? The physical quantities in which there is a magnitude as well as direction, then this physical quantity is called the vector quantity. For example, in this chapter we will study about the distance and displacement. Distance and displacement. So by taking this example, I will explain to you. So suppose we start from this point any direction. Like for the displacement, we will say that the distance between the point A and B is, if we join this point with this point by a straight line, obviously this should be less than this point, this one. So suppose this is 400 meters. Suppose the shortest distance between the A and B is 400 meters. And the direction, suppose the direction of this point is east south. So we are telling that, we are saying that the distance between the A and B, the shortest distance between the A and B is 400 meters towards east south direction. So here in this example, we are talking about the magnitude as well as direction. So if a physical quantity has magnitude as well as direction, we will say that this is a vector quantity. For the distance and displacement, we can say that distance is a scalar quantity and displacement is a vector quantity. Okay, so this is the one difference between the distance and displacement. Distance is a scalar quantity, it has only magnitude without any direction, and displacement is a vector quantity which has magnitude as well as direction. One more difference between the distance and displacement is distance is the actual path covered by the body and displacement is the shortest distance between the initial and the final position of a moving body. Okay, so few more differences between the distance and displacement. Suppose we start from this point A and after traveling a circular path, suppose your PTA teacher give you punishment to make a round of the playground. So you start from this point and after covering a certain distance in a circular path, you come back to this point. So in this case, you start from the point A, or after covering a certain distance, you again come to the point A. Now for the distance covered, we can say the distance covered by you is this the path which covered by you. And this path is called the circumference of the circle. So the distance covered by u is circumference, that is 2 pi r. Suppose the radius of the circle is r, so we can say the distance covered by u is 2 pi. What is about the displacement? In this example, since we start from this point A and again come back to this point A, so the distance, the shortest distance between the initial and the final position is 0. So we can say the displacement in this case is 0. So one more difference we can write between the distance and displacement. Distance cannot be 0 for a moving body, while displacement can be 0 for a moving body. So it means in any case if the body is moving, its distance can't be 0. But for a moving body, displacement can be 0. One more example is if you throw a ball in upward direction like this, and again you catch this ball. So for the distance covered, suppose you catch this ball at this point. So distance covered by this ball is this length plus this length, but the displacement is 0. So one more difference is distance cannot be 0 for a moving body and displacement can be 0 for a moving body. Okay. More differences between the distance and displacement is, suppose you start from this point A and you go to this point B, you move to this point B, which is 500 meters from the point A, and again you turn back like this, and again you move certain distance like 600 meters now towards this side. Suppose initially you are moving in the east direction. Now in this case you are moving in the west direction. So here for the distance covered, if you are telling about the distance covered, so 500 meter plus 600 meter, this is the actual path covered by you. Distance means actual path covered by you. So the distance is 500 plus 600, it is 1100 meter. So you will see the distance covered is 1100 meter. And what is about the displacement? Since we know that the shortest distance between the initial and the final position, final point of the body is called the displacement. So in this example, the displacement is like this. So what is the length of this part? This is this AC. It is 600 minus 500, that is 100 meter. So in displacement, since we know that we don't have only the magnitude, we should have the direction also. So So we will say that the displacement is 100 meter towards the west. Now how will you know that the direction is towards the west? So if you are telling about the direction and if you are using this east direction is the positive side. So for the west direction you have to use the negative side. So this is the minus 600. Again if we add these terms 500 plus minus 600 it will be minus 100 meter. So minus sign show that the final position of the body is towards the west because we are using the west direction with the negative sign. So the displacement curve by u is 100 meter towards the west. And we know that it is towards the west since we are using the west direction by negative sign. We are using the negative sign for representing the west direction. So this difference we can write it like this. Distance is only positive. Distance is only positive. But displacement can be positive, it can be negative. So how can it be positive? Suppose you are here and you move to the point B which is at the distance of 400 meters suppose. So in this case the distance is 400 meter, displacement is 400 meter, again it is positive. Or in this example it is negative. So we can say the distance is always positive but the displacement can be positive, it can be negative. So these are the few differences between the distance and displacement. So one more question we have to write. The question is write the difference between distance and displacement. Okay? This is one more question. Now, one more question is, suppose you are traveling a circle path like this, having the radius r. So you have to write down that after half revolution, how much distance will you cover? So we know that if we start from this point, then after half revolution we will be like this. We will be here. So the distance covered by us will be this length. This is pi r. And the displacement should be the shortest distance between the A and B. It is 2r. This is the diameter of the circle. So the distance and the displacement covered by the object in a circular path. So the execution is write distance and displacement covered by a body. Distance and displacement covered by a body moving in a circular path. Moving in a circular path. Having radius r. First, in half revolution, so suppose the body is moving in a circular path. So after the half revolution, it will be here. So first, you have to find the distance covered in half revolution. It will be half of the circumference, that is pi r. So in half revolution. So the distance covered is half of the circumference, that is pi r, and the displacement is, since we know that displacement is the shortest distance between the initial and the final position, so the displacement will be diameter. And second part is in complete one revolution. In one revolution. So in one revolution, the distance covered by the body is equal to the circumference. And what is about the displacement? Displacement says the body starts from this point and again after one revolution it will be here at this point again. So it means the displacement will be c. So more numerical questions you can write like suppose a boy like the Amit. These are the direction east, west, north, south. In our notebook and in our boards we always mention east here, west and north and south. Suppose a question is, Amit is traveling towards the east 3 km. So I am making the figure here and you have to write the question in your notebook with answers. So suppose Amit traveled 3 km towards the east and then 4 km towards the south. So from this point he moved towards the south 4 kilometers. So the question is, Amit covered 3 kilometers towards the east and then 4 kilometers towards the south. So you have to find the distance and displacement of Amit. So for the first part, we know that the distance is the actual path covered by Amit, which is equal to 3 plus 4, that is 7 kilometers. And the second part, we have to find the displacement. For displacement, we know that the shortest distance between the initial and the final points position is called the displacement. So the displacement is AC, the length AC. How can we find this length? We can find this length by using the Pythagoras theorem. See, according to the Pythagoras theorem, we know that the hypotenuse square, that is AC square, is equal to AB square plus BC square is equal to AB square plus BC square. So we can put the values here. AB is 3 kilometers 3 square plus 4 square, that is 9 plus 16, it is equal to 25. So what should be the length of AC? It is square root of 25, it is 5 kilometers. So in this question, the distance covered by Amit is 3 plus 4, that is 7, and the displacement is like this, we can find it like 5 kilometers. So these are some numerical questions related to the distance and displacement. So in today's class, we learned about what is motion, the type of motion, that is uniform and non-uniform motion. We learned about the scale and the vector quantities, and we learned about the distance, the differences between the distance and the displacement, and some small numericals related to the distance and displacement. So in next class, we will continue with the new parts of this chapter, that